Hey ladies, Coach Lou checking in with you all, and I just want to talk to you about how important consistency is. Now I know I've talked about consistency in various videos, but not just in changing the shape of your body with respect to, you got to stick to something from from A to Z, but about whatever it is you do, you need to be able to stick to that in the long term. And I've been talking to a few of my ladies about this because when you first come on board, you start to get really keen and you want to do all these extra classes. And I say to all my ladies, it's not about pounding yourself in the gym 7 days a week. And the reason for this is because the majority of people are not going to be able to keep that up. And I've been saying to some of my ladies, at the moment, they're super enthusiastic and yeah, they might be throwing themselves in. But I was saying to them, one, you need to make sure you're getting adequate rest in so that your body has time to repair and recover, because that is just as important as thrashing yourself in the gym is. But also making sure that you're actually training for a purpose and that you're not just doing every workout that you can get into you think might burn a bit of body fat, but to ensure that you're not counteracting muscles that you maybe have already used. Something else I've been saying to them is, if you're coming in all the time, 7 days a week, you're going to hit what we call gym burnout mode, where clients come in and they're super keen and they're coming in, between 5 and 7 days a week, and they're hitting it hard, and all of a sudden they fall. And when they fall, it's a huge dip and it's really hard for them to get back on again. And quite often what happens is it really affects these clients psychologically, and they really feel down on themselves, feel like they failed on themselves. And I always say, it's because you're doing something that you're not going to be able to consistently stick to. Everyone's going to burn out. I coach, I train 6 days a week. It's my job. And there's even days when it's my job where I just want to not go into the gym, but because I'm training for a purpose and I have a following of ladies behind me, I can't tell them to do something and not stick to it myself. But the point is, even at my level, it's difficult. And fitting it in with a busy life and having a business and having a child and a husband and friends. So if it's not your main focal point and it's something you're just coming across, it's highly likely you will hit that gym burnout mode. So the best bit of advice I can give you is get a plan that's realistic. So quite often I'll have ladies who might not necessarily be able to work with me on a one-to-one basis. And I'll say, okay, what's going to be realistic for you? A 3-day training week or a 4-day training week? And sometimes I'll say, right, you can get this in or that in as an extra, or we'll maybe do some core training on top of the training you're doing that you can do at home. But it's got to be something that's going to be realistic and fit into an everyday life. So the reason I'm popping this video up is I see so many people feeling like they're failing, and you're not failing, you're doing too much. And I can promise you that hitting the gym 7 days a week is not the answer to what you need. It's different if you're an athlete and you've got to train for something specific because it's your life. And like I say, even athletes have days where they just think, oh, I don't do this anymore. But they've got a team of people behind them that can pick them back up. But they're also aware that they need rest days. And it's the reason why I actually hate calling it cheat meals, but it's the reason I give my ladies a refeed, because they can't be super clean all the time. And I say to them, even I have a cheat here and there, or a refeed here and there, because I need it. And sometimes I want to have something indulgent. We can't be perfect all the time. And sometimes if we strive too much for perfection when we're trying to change the shape of our body, that goal just seems like it's miles and miles and miles and miles and miles away. So think clever. Get some advice on it from someone. If you're going to a gym, generally you can say to someone, and say to a coach, how many times a week do you think I should be training? How can I realistically get this goal if I'm training 3 times a week? And make sure you're doing the right things. So consistency, we're talking about it slightly different to have in other videos. Consistency in what is going to be achievable in the long term, because if you're training 7 days a week right now, I can guarantee you that your body's not getting enough rest. But also, I can guarantee you that somewhere along the line, you're going to get bored of the gym and you're going to fall off. You're going to be really mad at yourself for falling off, and it's going to be difficult to get back on. But also, you need to be able to sustain whatever you're doing to stay in the shape you're in. Believe it or not, once you get to the maintaining phase, it's actually more difficult than it is in the beginning, because you've got to find something that's going to allow you to stay in the shape that you want to be in, while also maybe pulling back a bit. For those of us who, you know, fitness is our life, it's not always the case, but there is times where we need to pull back because of injuries and whatever else, and it's got to be realistic. So realism and ensuring you're not overdoing it so you don't hit the gym burnout, so important, guys. Catch y'all later. Coach Lee.